Hey everyone, you're watching Luxurious Tale. If you enjoy rich, emotional stories with powerful twists, kindly hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's dive straight into today's story. Amelia Richardson returned to Lagos 2 days earlier than scheduled, her mind buzzing with quiet excitement. The anniversary was meant to be simple, intimate, a reminder of the love she believed still lived beneath the layers of ambition and distance that business had built between her and Daniel. She imagined surprising him at home, cooking dinner herself, laughing at how shocked he would be to see her standing in the living room. The house felt unusually quiet when she arrived, but she brushed it off, assuming Daniel was in his study. As she moved deeper into the house, the sound of laughter, soft, familiar, and terribly wrong, stopped her cold. The bedroom door was ajar. What Amelia saw shattered something inside her with surgical precision. Daniel was there, tangled in sheets, holding a woman whose face she recognized before her mind could process the betrayal. Felicity, her younger sister. The world tilted. Amelia did not scream or cry. The shock was too heavy for that. Instead, she stood frozen as years of trust collapsed in a single moment. When Daniel finally noticed her, guilt flashed briefly across his face before being replaced by irritation, as if she were the intruder. The confrontation that followed was cruel and humiliating. Daniel did not beg or explain. Instead, he blamed Amelia for being absent, for choosing business trips over being a wife. Felicity stood behind him, wrapped in a sheet, unable to meet Amelia's eyes. By the time Amelia walked out of the house that night, suitcase in hand, she understood that the betrayal was not sudden. It was planned, practiced, and deeply rooted. The divorce was swift and merciless. Daniel's lawyers moved with alarming efficiency, freezing accounts and questioning Amelia's ownership of assets she had built herself. Rumors spread quickly through Lagos elite circles, painting Amelia as cold, childless, and expendable. The house she once called home was sold. Invitations stopped coming. Friends chose sides, and most chose power. Amelia moved into a modest apartment, trading luxury for anonymity, pain for clarity. What hurt most was discovering how deeply Daniel had woven himself into her company's finances. Contracts bore his signatures. Loans she never approved had been taken in her firm's name. For the first time, Amelia realized her marriage had been both emotional and financial warfare. Nights became long battles with insomnia, her mind replaying memories, searching for the moment she should have known. Yet beneath the grief, something stronger was forming: resolve. Daniel and Felicity announced their engagement barely 6 months later. The news came with calculated cruelty, a personalized invitation delivered to Amelia's door. She was not invited as family or guest, but as staff, a waitress. The message was clear. This was meant to finish her. Amelia stared at the card for a long time, then laughed quietly. Not because it was funny, but because it confirmed what she already knew. Daniel still feared her. Instead of responding, Amelia disappeared. She traveled quietly between London and Accra, meeting investors who respected her mind rather than her marriage. It was during one of these meetings that she crossed paths with Sir Edward Whitmore, a man whose calm authority filled rooms without effort. He listened as Amelia spoke, not just about betrayal, but about figures, discrepancies, contracts that made no sense. Sir Edward saw what Daniel never did: a strategist sharpened by pain. Their partnership was discreet but powerful. With Sir Edward's resources, Amelia began uncovering the truth behind Daniel's construction empire: shell companies, inflated government contracts, a housing project in Abuja meant for low-income families that existed only on paper. Each discovery hardened her resolve. This was no longer about revenge. It was about justice, for herself and for people Daniel had exploited. As the wedding day approached, Daniel felt invincible. Felicity basked in attention, mistaking luxury for security. Neither noticed the quiet investigations unfolding behind the scenes. Amelia, meanwhile, prepared carefully. She accepted the waitress role publicly, allowing gossip to spread. Let them think she was broken. Let them underestimate her one last time. On the morning of the wedding, Amelia stood before a mirror, calm and composed. The woman looking back was no longer defined by betrayal. She wore simplicity like armor, confidence like silk. Whatever happened next, she knew one truth with certainty. She had already won, not by destroying Daniel, but by surviving him. The wedding venue glittered with excess, a spectacle designed to announce Daniel's victory to the world. Guests murmured as staff moved efficiently between tables, and among them was Amelia, dressed in a simple uniform, head bowed, posture flawless. She felt eyes slide over her without recognition, which was exactly what she wanted. Every step she took across the hall steadied her nerves. This was not humiliation, it was camouflage. She watched Daniel laugh loudly, watched Felicity cling to his arm, and saw in their confidence the fatal flaw of people who believed the past could never catch them. When the ceremony paused for the arrival of special guests, a hush rippled through the room. Amelia stepped away from the service corridor and into the center aisle, no longer carrying trays. The uniform was gone, replaced by a tailored gown that commanded silence. Sir Edward walked beside her, composed and unmistakably important. Whispers exploded. Phones lifted. Daniel's smile collapsed. Confusion giving way to panic as Amelia took her seat in the front row, acknowledged by dignitaries who rose to greet her. The announcement came swiftly. Amelia Richardson, newly appointed managing director of a major international import group, was welcomed publicly. Applause followed, polite at first, then thunderous. Daniel stood frozen, his mind racing through calculations that no longer added up. Felicity's face drained of color. In that moment, the power dynamic shifted irrevocably. Amelia met Daniel's gaze once, calm, distant, finished. The celebration never recovered. Midway through the reception, officers arrived with quiet authority. Conversations died as Daniel was escorted aside. The charges were read without drama. Massive contract fraud, embezzlement, and exploitation tied to a housing project for the poor. Assets were frozen on the spot. Guests avoided eye contact. Felicity's hands trembled as the reality she had ignored finally arrived. Daniel was taken away that night, stripped of applause and illusion. Felicity followed days later, when the properties vanished and accounts emptied. The life she had betrayed her sister for dissolved with cruel speed. Amelia watched none of it unfold in public. She returned to her work, letting the law do what it was meant to do. Justice, she had learned, was far more devastating than spectacle. Years passed, and Amelia relocated to Abuja with purpose. She launched New Hope Gardens, a real housing development built for the families Daniel had defrauded. Brick by brick, she repaired damage she did not cause but refused to ignore. Her leadership was firm and compassionate. Her reputation earned rather than inherited. People spoke her name with gratitude, not gossip. When Felicity came to her, humbled and hollow, Amelia listened. Mercy was not weakness. It was choice. She offered her sister a job with strict boundaries and honest expectations. Felicity accepted, learning slowly that dignity came from work, not shortcuts. Healing was not instant, but it was real. Daniel was released years later, older and quieter. He returned to a world that no longer revolved around him. Amelia did not meet him. She did not need to. Her life was full of purpose, of daughters who watched her build instead of break, of a legacy rooted in integrity. At night, Amelia told her children stories, not of betrayal, but of resilience. She taught them that the greatest victory was becoming so complete that the past lost its power. And in that peace, she finally rested, a queen not by title, but by the life she chose to build. That's the end of the story. What did you learn about the story? Please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories. Thanks for watching.